Hello there, everyone. Today I am joined by
Hunter Schober.
Yep, this is going to be my first ever collaborative telephone checkout video with him, and actually my second ever collaborative phone checkout of all time. And I'm pretty excited for this. I think it's pretty fitting to have him on for these phones. I actually have 3 phones for checkout today. So this is the first one. Let's see, where did I put the scissors? Here we go. This is one that Hunter himself actually sent me a link to, or he posted one in a Discord group chat, and then I said I might have to just go ahead and buy that because it seemed like a really cool phone. And he said, sure, go ahead, so I did.
Yeah, and a lot of people know me by this specific, a lot of people know the specific telephone by me, and I had a lot of good luck with my units, and I think Classic Electrics will have good luck with his as well.
Awesome. Yep, I actually didn't even know about this system before learning about it from you, honestly. Or this series of phones, that is. Alright. Got the bag just about open here. There we go, finally. Alright, now we've got bubble wrap. And it's taped down, but it does not look to be an absolute tape freak show, at least. I'm going to go ahead and turn your volume up because all this packing material is really loud.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. So this is a Uniden TRU3466. And it appears to be brand new in the box.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't even realize it was going to be brand new when I initially got it, but I looked at some of the pictures. And yep, everything is in the plastic wrap. One of the cardboard flaps at the top of the box is just hanging on by a thread, but it's not gone.
Oh.
Alright, let's just get a look at this box before I open this up. So, up on the top here, we actually have a sticker from Hello Direct. Product number 2-line 2.4 gigahertz speakerphone 8055. And there's a phone number and web address on there as well.
Nice.
Yeah. The box is in pretty good shape. It's got some creases in it, but I think otherwise it's pretty good. So here's the power adapter. Now this does not look like it's brand new, but that's not really a problem. It's just a power adapter, as long as it's not spoiled, of course.
Yeah, normally they're not really spoiled, but you never know.
Yep. It is a Uniden adapter. If it will focus, there we go. This is the Uniden AT&T 210M. It outputs 9 volts DC, 400 milliamps, center positive, and it uses a standard size, normal length barrel, right angle plug. I'll go ahead and get this plugged in. We have the papers here in their original plastic bag. product registration, a quick start guide, precautions and warranty information, and the manual itself. And I'm not even going to look at these right now because I don't want to risk messing them up. But I'm not concerned about being confused by this, probably because I have someone who's used phones like this before on the line with me right here. Here's the telephone cord. It is not sticky, although it is wrapped kind of weirdly. And it is a 2-line cord. Oh, yes. Here's the belt clip. This does look like it's never been used. It's still very shiny on the outside.
It also looks like that came with almost everything brand new.
Yeah. Oh no, the antenna is busted.
Oh no.
Well, it hasn't gone sticky, so maybe I can repair it. It's just busted at the bottom. Hold on, there's a piece floating in there. There we go. So I'll just use it like this for now, but I'm going to try to repair this at some point.
Yeah, if the brake isn't that bad, you might be able to repair it.
Yep. This phone still has the screen protector on it. That is really cool.
And I don't think anyone who has bought a true 3400 series telephone has ever had it with the screen protector still on it.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This feels like a pretty nice little handset. I really like the feel of it, and it's nice and wide, but not very tall. It's kind of compact. The ringer, or the piezo that is, for both the ketone and ringer, is well up above where my hand will be blocking it. So, this should be good.
Yeah, and you also got those rubber pieces on the side to be comforting your fingers as well.
They look a little bit dusty with age, but that's nothing rubbing alcohol can't fix after all.
Yeah, and this is what I told Clatter Electricists before that the True 3400 phones have rubber sides on them, and I thought that's actually pretty cool, even though it's a regular phone.
Yeah. And there's the base. This also looks brand new, unused. Don't really see any dust. It's got the faceplate protector still on there. Wow.
That is so cool.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
And the antenna on the base is good, although it's all plastic, so I wouldn't expect it to be broken anyway.
Yeah.
I have some controls and things up here. We've got, oh, I gotta zoom in on this more. Line 2, ring volume, off, low, and high, looks to be set on high. Line 1 ring volume, off, low, and high, also set on high. DC in 9 volts center positive. Tel line 2 and tel line 1/2. And that looks like the microphone right down there. And then we have a volume control slider. And that's about it. Alright, I have misplaced one of the testing phone lines. I specifically got out 2 testing phone line cords so I could test both lines of this telephone. There we go. Now, unfortunately, only one has caller ID because of the nature of my mini PBX. Alright, so let's plug in. Oh, you know what? I didn't see a battery in there. It's possible there's a battery in here.
Oh, maybe.
Yep, there is. That's interesting. So the battery cover looks to have had foam, but it's not really there anymore. It definitely is sticky, but it's like someone went in here and cleaned out the residue. So maybe this was used. And,
Well, that is quite interesting.
yeah. And unfortunately, the battery is plugged in, but amazingly...
Oh, yeah, that's not always good.
No, it's not, but amazingly, it appears to be corrosion-free.
And that's good.
Yep. Now, I don't know if this thing would still take a charge.
Oh, yeah. You know, some of them do and some of them don't.
Yep. It was made by the GPI, though. It was made in the 9th week of 2001, I believe, according to the state code. Alright, so I'm just going to go grab another battery so we can test this out.
Alright.
Alright. This one is not the greatest battery, but since there is no speakerphone on this handset, I don't think it would be much of a problem because it doesn't have a high current draw. Oh, it's out of focus. Okay. Did it connect? The plug on this is a little finicky. Yep. Looks like it's trying to work. Yeah. Alright, let me just grab a paper towel for this sticky residue in here. So yeah, I guess this phone really isn't brand new in box, but I mean, it still has the screen protector on it and is in perfect condition. So I guess it may as well be.
Yeah. It's very close to almost new.
Yep. By the way, are you using a different phone now, Hunter?
Yes, I switched to the TRU3468.
Ah. Yeah, it sounds a little quieter.
Yeah, that's interesting, actually.
Yep. And I can hear the Uniden digital spread spectrum buzzing sound.
Oh yeah, the common one that's used on the Digitan ones.
Yep. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can put on autofocus so I don't have as much trouble with this thing. Now, let's plug in the base. Alright, I don't see any signs of anything on here. There we go. It is working. Alright, looks like the contacts would need to be cleaned. You can see the status light flickering on there. And now it flickered to reset the security code. And now we can see on the screen, maybe just barely, line 1, new 00, TTL 00, line 2, 0000. So that's telling us the call log information. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, I like this massive gold Uniden logo on here. It's actually a 3D logo too. Oh no. Wow. The handset just fell out of the base when I tried to show the camera the logo.
Oh wow, but yeah, I've actually never seen that on any other Uniden besides these.
Yeah, seems pretty neat. This is like a high quality phone. For real.
Yeah.
And we have a headset jack.
There's a very interesting model group, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Alright. The headset jack rubber is in good condition. So now, what I'm really interested to find out is if this phone has some iconic ringers, which are on a Radio Shack phone that Hunter has.
Yeah, if you guys didn't see one of the videos, check out my video about the Radio Shack 43-1704, and you'll hear that there are actually different ringtones on it.
Yep. As soon as I saw that, I knew I really wanted one like that. So I'm hoping this one has those same ringtones because it's probably a pretty similar phone from a similar era. So.
Yeah, the button layout is exactly.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
That's okay. I'm thinking that because the button layout is basically the same for the handsets.
Yep. Alright. That's what happens when I don't read instructions. It said on the up button, it's up/INTCM, which is short for intercom. So, let's try the delete/volume button. Huh.
Yeah, and so far that's the exact same line 1 ring that my Radio Shack has.
Okay, cool. Let's see if I... Alright, it's working on line 2. So let's see if, now that the last line I used is line 2, if maybe the volume button will adjust the line 2 volume. Nope. I guess we'll just have to call it and see how that sounds. Now as for the bass, I don't think there's a way to see that. So... Alright, I'm gonna have to place Hunter on hold for just a second because this is gonna be the testing phone so that he can hear the live audio as well. Alright. Oh, you know what? I don't think I checked which extensions the lines on this are. Okay, extension 1 is line 1 and extension 2 is line 2. That's pretty easy to remember. Alright, let's try that again. Okay. Can you hear the ringers? Alright. Oh no. You know what? I just cut off the call with Hunter. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're ready to go once more. So now I'm gonna call up line 2 on this phone. Oh. I think the PBX failed. I thought I reset it. That's weird.
Okay.
I'll try again.
Yeah, that sounds just like the Radio Shack.
Alright. Yes. Let's turn down that bass ringer so we can hear the handset a bit better.
Yep, that's the one.
Fantastic. I am so glad to have this thing. Thanks. Alright. So, I've got you patched in to the 3466 through the 992 now.
Alright, so far it sounds excellent.
Awesome. Yeah, I think the audio on the 992 is kind of weak when it's conferencing both lines, which is kind of odd because it's a powered phone. But anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into the other room so that
you and the camera can hear me just coming through the 992 speaker and your phone, which I believe you said is your 346?
348.
Okay, 348. Alright, so yeah. It sounds like it's pretty good. There's actually a lot of side tone on this phone, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I like about these too.
Now, unfortunately, I am hearing some Wi-Fi interference, so I'm going to go ahead and change the channel. Alright, that's a little better. I'll try again. Okay. There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah. I just accidentally hit the page button. Let's see if I can find the volume button again. There we go. Volume high, maximum, low, medium. Alright, so I think it was on medium by default. So this is low. Although there's not very much side tone, I guess it was on medium, and that's why I thought there was a lot of side tone.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to go back over to the testing setup now. And I think I'll go ahead and disconnect this. And we can hear that buzzing sound, the Uniden digital spread spectrum buzz on the 992. And now we can't, because that's just how a lot of these Uniden DSS phones work. Even after you hang it up, it keeps emitting the sound for a few seconds.
Yeah, that's what I noticed about mine too.
Yep. Alright, so now I'm going to try calling the 992 on line 2 from the 3466. Oh yeah, it was turned up all the way here. I'm glad I checked that, because the PBX dial tone is so loud.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow, I forgot I had that extension configured to do that. Alright, that was my AT&T line dial tone.
Oh, cool.
Thanks. Alright, I think it's extension 7. Nope. I'm gonna go take a look. Ah, it's extension 3. Okay. Okay. I don't know if the PBX is just gonna be that way permanently now. I reset it in between the time when it started doing that. Oh man, I just pressed the wrong button, because I was distracted trying to talk. Okay. There we go. Now, I should have you on conference. Oh no, it says... Okay, there we go. Now you should be on conference. Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. You can't join when the base is on line 1?
Oh, yeah, I forgot that's the same on my Radio Shack too. Apparently you can't join on the handset when you have the base already active.
Interesting. Alright, well I'm gonna try... Wait, is there a mute button on this? Yes, there is. Perfect. Oh yeah, the line light goes red too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna try just picking up the handset off the base and seeing if it transfers. Doing that. And yep, it does. So that's how you connect the handset when the base is already in use. You have to hang up the handset into the base and then pick it up, and then it will transfer.
Yep.
Alright, and it sounds like it's working great on line 1 now.
Yeah, the audio quality still sounds as good.
Yeah. Now let's see if I can go to line 2 on this. Yep, it just goes ahead and places line 1 on hold right there. So now... Oh no. Okay. Alright. Now I'm back on line 1. Yeah, the PBX just failed again. I think it's this weird thing about it where it only recognizes 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 times that you try to dial anything on it. And I thought I had reset it since it started doing that, but I guess not. So anyway, I'll try again. There we go. So now I'm calling the testing line that I like to call, which is just a number not in service recording. Yeah, that really does have fantastic sound. There's volume maximum.
2676 is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again. Thank you. The number you have reached, 605.
Here's volume low.
2676 is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again. Thank you. The number you have reached.
There we go. I got the buzzing on the 992 under control a bit by holding on to this base antenna. Alright. Now let's conference these two lines together, which is done with the down/conf button, I guess.
672
Yeah, there we go.
76 is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again. Thank you.
Yep, there it goes.
The number you
Yep.
have reached, 605-767.
Alright, now let's try to transfer to the base. Let's see if I can use the intercom key to do that.
Recording in error. The number for calling. Thank you.
Okay,
The number you have reached,
intercom test.
605
There we go. Jeez, that is quiet.
2676.
This is with the volume all the way up on intercom.
If you feel
It's
you
barely even picking me up.
have error, please
That's
check
weird.
the number and try your call again. Thank you.
Could it be because... Nope, I don't think it's because the bass is
605
picking up my voice through the microphone.
2676 is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check
Alright,
the
well I'm
number
going
and
to try
try
hanging
your
up the
call
handset
again.
and let's see if that transfers automatically both of the lines to the bass.
The number you have reached,
Yes, it does.
605-767-2676
Wow,
is
that was terrible.
not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error,
Sorry about that.
the number
Alright,
and
let's
your call
try...
again.
No worries.
Thank you.
Thanks, let's try muting that. And you know what?
The number you have
I'm going to go off speakerphone on there and mute this.
767-2676 is not in service. If you feel
That's
you
no
have
longer
reached this
quiet.
recording in error, please check the number and try your call again. Thank you.
Alright, can you hear me over this now?
Yep, I can hear you.
The number you have
Okay.
reached, 605-767-2676, is not in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in
Alright, so it
error,
looks like
please check the number
the
and try
line
your call again.
control interface
Thank you.
is different between the 992 and the
The
3466.
number you have reached, 605-7...
So what happened on the 992 when I had a conference call going is that when I would press, for example, line 1, then it just automatically switches to line 1 and hangs up the other line. But on the 3466, when I press line 1, it hangs up line 1 and just leaves you with line 2. Yep. Alright, so I'm gonna go off of hold on the 3466 now. Back with the testing number.
Please
Okay,
check
there we
the
go.
number and try your call again.
So that's the quietest it goes on an outside line, which sounds pretty reasonably quiet.
605
Especially for a bass speakerphone, that's nice and quiet.
2676
Yeah.
recording an error. Please check the number and try your call again. Thank you.
That's about how loud it goes without really distorting at all.
The number you have reached, 605-767-26.
Oh yeah, that's actually all the way up. So that remains clear all the way up.
Awesome.
Please check the number and try your
Yeah.
call again. Thank you. The number you have reached, 605-767-26, is not in service.
Okay.
If you feel you have...
Now, I think what I should do next is record a testing message. But let's see. I've tested out all the ringers and confirmed that they are exactly what I hoped. So thanks for confirming that for me, Hunter. And let's see. I could try paging the handset from the base. That's nice and loud.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and you can just press the line 1 or line 2 buttons, and it automatically goes to intercom. So there's intercom again. Yeah, intercom is ridiculously quiet for some reason.
Wow.
It's feeding back a lot. I don't know why. I guess I could try. Huh. Mute is no longer working on the base intercom. I'll just try covering the microphone, I guess. Alright. Now, is this going to work on the base intercom? It still sounds like it's... Jeez. Still sounds like it's having trouble relaying my voice through the intercom, which is bizarre. It can get plenty loud. It just doesn't like my voice for some reason when it's on intercom. That's weird.
This is weird.
But at least it works when it's on the external lines. And I guess that's really what I care about.
Yeah, and at least it goes about as loud and as quiet as you want, too.
Yeah, that's actually something I think that's kind of underrated in phones. Going nice and quiet.
Yeah. I'm glad you're liking it so far.
Thanks, me too. I can tell that the flash button is working because you can hear on the bass that audible relay clicking. You can hear the PBX relay clicking as well. I'll try it on the other line so it's not clicking along with the bass. What? That is weird. Okay, so it seems like the bass only uses an audible clicky relay on line 1.
That's odd.
Yeah, I didn't hear any click when I was flashing on line 2. Oh, no, there it is, there it is. Huh. Okay, there it is, yeah. I guess it's quieter? Yeah. So the bass has an audible clicking relay that it uses for hanging up and picking up line 1, and it also has one for line 2, but that one is noticeably quieter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I'm noticing about this type
Normally
of...
you can hear them quite good, even from a good distance from the base.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing I'm noticing about this type of handset is that the buttons really remind me of the Panasonic KXTG2583. I guess you would have to have seen that video to know what I'm talking about, but they really do, even with some of the buttons being blue.
Yeah. I thought that was neat.
Yep. Alright, for memories, it looks like we've got at least 10 memories that it can hold. Oh, it goes above 10.
and above 20. Alright, this can hold 30 memories. Nice. May as well put one in here. Select. Oh, do you have to press and hold memory? Yep, memory store. Alright, store name. Packaged. And there we go, store number. Let's see, extension 3. I want to see if this matches the caller ID to the memory number. So I'm going to call up this phone from the 992. Jeez, that is loud. Oh no, it failed again. Okay, let's try one more time. Doesn't seem to be taking any caller ID. That is plugged into the line 1 jack. I don't know, maybe the caller ID adapter isn't working anymore. I don't know. Or maybe it just wasn't plugged in correctly.
Who knows?
Yep. Alright, well. Yeah, I think all I have to do left on this phone is to leave a testing message. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that off camera. Oh, the testing answering machine filled up, but conveniently it filled up right at the time when I was trying to transfer the call from the handset to the base. So that meant I was finished with my handset testing. So let's listen to this message.
1 new message and 19 old messages. The memory is full. Please erase your messages. Message 1.
This is a testing message recorded from one of my new favorite cordless phones, the Uniden TRU3466. And this is the first ever testing message that I've recorded with someone else on the phone.
I know this is the first time I've done this as well.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Hunter.
You're welcome anytime.
Alrighty, now I'm gonna switch to the base. I'm not sure if the testing answering machine will let me. Okay, well, at least we get to hear what the base sounds like when you press a line button while the handset is using a line. Alright, what I'm going to have to do is transfer the call to the base using the intercom and then hang up on the handset. So hopefully the testing answer machine doesn't cut me off as I do this. Here we go.
End of messages. 1 new message and 19 old messages. The memory is full. Please erase your messages. Message 1.
This is a testing message from the Uniden TRU3466 base. I'm now speaking directly into the microphone. The microphone. The noise. Now I'm going to start backing away from this so we can see how far away it picks up my voice. I'm speaking at probably a normal phone conversation volume, and I'm currently about 2 feet away from the telephone. Now I'm about 4 feet away from the telephone. Now I'm about 6 feet away from the telephone. Now I'm about 7 or 8 feet from the phone.
Alright, that was such an amazing speakerphone. I think that's like the clearest bass speakerphone from Uniden that I've ever heard. That was amazing. Oh, sorry.
You're good. I kind of spoke a little bit too late.
That's fine. Alright. So yeah, even from this close up, it sounded great. I would say it wasn't too loud or too soft, and the gain control sounded very good. Even when I was speaking right up into the microphone. And then of course, as I got far away, it did get pretty quiet, but it never actually dropped my voice completely. So, oh yeah, and the clarity didn't sound muted at all. So this really is a good bass speakerphone.
That's good.
Yep, thanks. So, now I'm just gonna pause the video again so I can get this stuff cleaned up, and then I'll move on to the next two telephones. Okay, now let's first take a moment before I check out these two phones to talk about something that I forgot to talk about initially, which is this current testing setup you can see here. So this is my new experimental testing setup, and you might be able to see this tag on it. Oh no, it took off the finish of it. Oh man, that's really bad. Well, that was a bummer. Okay, anyway, this is a 3-level particle board with wood grain finish and a giant gouge in the wood grain finish now shelf. And it came from the thrift store. And there are actually 2 of these that I got there. I got these because I figured I could really use some new shelves, even if they're not like really sturdy or high quality. They're in decent enough shape, and they only each cost $7.50. So I paid a combined total of $15 for 2 sets of table height shelves. So I figured, why not? At that price, why not upgrade my testing setup? So, if I can find where the right side to open this from is, I think this is it. In here is a lot of 2 AT&T, or AT&T 210 Trimline corded telephones. And Hunter here actually told me about one of these as well.
Yeah, it's like almost like a rare one. It looks like some of the newer ones, but they actually have an interesting style ring.
Yep. Oh no, I'm gonna have to blur out the video because there's a packing slip right on top here.
Oh no.
Yeah, but oh well, alright. So they both come with their original boxes, which is pretty nice. Let's get this out of here. So first we have one of the vintage style ones with the rubber buttons. And next we have, I don't know what that was. Oh, the 3466 box just tipped over. Alright. Next we have one of the memory equipped ones. And it's weird because the box doesn't even seem to advertise the memories.
That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, that's hilarious. The box makes no mention of the memories whatsoever, but it has right on the picture here. The memories clearly visible, except they're not visible because I wasn't holding them in the camera frame, duh.
Oh.
But yeah, there's the 3 one-touch memories, and the memory button for activating the 9 two-touch memories. So let's get this one open first. Now this looks like the sticker
that was usually put on the backs of these phones. It's kind of cool that the sticker is still there, even though it's probably not going to want to separate from this cardboard very easily. Well, okay, never mind on that. That came right off. Nice. So I can go ahead and put this in a plastic bag at some point soon. Thanks. Alright. Great, that's gonna do a lot of good just sitting up on here instead of wrapped around the phone. Oh well. It's got the user's manual, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is just all the warranty and safety informations, of course. And the funny thing is, it's talking about nickel-cadmium batteries, and this is a corded phone that doesn't take batteries at all. It does have the phone cord in there. It's one of the classic blue plug AT&T cords. And astoundingly, this is not really sticky at all. Wow. It is slightly tacky to the touch in a few spots, but it's basically not a sticky cord at all. That's really nice. Alright. So the handy trick that Hunter told me about to identify this type, or this variant of the 210 with the unusual ringer, is to take a look at one particular button on here, specifically this one. So this obviously is an AT&T 210M, and you can tell it's an M because of the memory keys. But unlike most 210Ms that you'll ever see, this button is not labeled prog/mute or program/mute. This button is just labeled prog or program.
Yep.
So that's the main physical characteristic you can use to identify these alternate ringer 210s. And it comes with...
the easiest way of telling which AT&T 210 it is.
Yep. Comes with one memory number card and a piece of plastic that goes over it. And this thing actually looks to be in great condition. It was definitely used, but it was taken care of.
Nice.
Thanks. This is going to be really
Cool.
nice to have. Now the volume switch was on loud, which is actually surprisingly common. And it does seem to be a little loose on there. So hopefully that still works okay. Yeah, it's kind of surprising because on the AT&T 210, the speaker, the earpiece, I guess, is one of the loudest and clearest sounding corded phone earpieces I've ever heard, and yet so many of them are turned all the way up when I get them.
Yeah.
Alright, next let's get out the vintage style one. Now this one, I can already notice, does look to be yellowed, which is unfortunate, but also extremely common. But also, this is a lot heavier compared to... Actually, it's not that much heavier. It's noticeably heavier, but not even that much heavier compared to this early 210M. That's actually pretty cool. It's mainly the handsets that have a different weight, and the vintage one isn't even that much heavier than the modern one. Oh my gosh, this cord. So this is really nice. This is like
probably one of the only 210M variants out there with an actual decently heavy bass, so it doesn't just get dragged off the table.
I like about those types of phones.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, what did you say?
I like how they make the bases so heavy, because a lot of phones that I use with light bases, even when you don't drag it so far, it will still slide off the table.
Yeah, it's like just the act of picking up the receiver causes the cord to pull on the bass, and then it just slides around.
Yeah.
So this cord is pretty tangled and kinked up, but thankfully I do have a way to reform these, so I'll have to try that soon. The last time I did that on a vintage AT&T Trimline cord that was severely kinked up, it actually worked amazingly. It restored it basically to factory new condition. Alright, this one comes with a short cord. That's nice. And again, this is not even sticky. Wow. This is not sticky at all. That's astonishing.
That's impressive.
Yeah. The bubble wrap is just jammed into the side on this one. But it is there. Unlike the manuals and the long cord, the first 210 didn't come with the short cord, and the second one didn't come with the long cord. So I guess it's cool that I have both of the cords now, at least between the two of them. So, alright. Now this one also thankfully does come with... Oh wow, this one comes with 3 memory cards.
Wow.
Yep. 2 of them are slightly yellowed around the edges, but the bottom one is not, so I'll just put that one on top. Oh yeah, and it looked like both ringers on the 210M, that's controlled on the handset, and on the 210 original, I guess, that's controlled from the bass. It looked like both the ringers were set to high. Yep. Let's see if there's a date code on here. '03-22? Or is that 23? I can't see it on the camera. Yep, it is. 03-23-1989.
Oh, wow. Like the same year mine was made, except mine was made on the 6th month of '89.
Nice. So this early 210M does not have any date code, but there is something that I really didn't expect to see. Manufactured in Mexico by Philips Consumer Communications. So AT&T was outsourcing their telephones after Lucent, but before VTech, or Advanced American Telephones. That's interesting. Whereas on this one it says manufactured in Singapore by AT&T. And yep, the receiver volume was all the way up on the vintage one as well. Oh wow, I don't know if this was like that originally. I can review the footage to check. I wasn't paying attention, but I just had the thought to check the 210M's dial switch. The reason I say I don't know if it was like this originally is because I may have messed with it already, but it is set to dial pulse. Wow. So if that really was like that originally, that's very, very interesting, because the vintage one was set to tone, and the new one was set to pulse.
Maybe the 210M was probably used on a regular POTS line.
Yeah. Alright. Here are the phone lines, the testing phone lines. I'm not going to bother with routing the cord through the cord channel because it's always kind of tricky on these. Oh no. The boxes are taking a dive.
Oh no!
Alright. So let's get on the PBX with this phone here and give these guys a call. I think I'll start with the rear ringer variant. Yep, I can hear it is already working. Backlight, the button backlight is extremely dim, but it is on. Alright.
Yep, that's the same one.
Indeed it is. I had no idea 210s existed with this ringer until I saw Hunter's.
I even thought it was cool when I saw it.
Yep, I tried to switch, or I tried to take up the handset and hold down the ringer. Or the ringer. Jeez. I tried to pick it up and keep the hook switch depressed so it would keep ringing and I could adjust the volume. But it failed.
Oh.
Now I noticed this thing is substantially louder than the modern 210Ms, or most that you'll hear. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and call it again with the ringer switched to low. PBX again has failed. Alright. That really sounds neat. Sounds kind of like a Cortelco phone. Here it is on high again. That is piercing. It actually is still decently loud even on low. Actually not very loud. It's, I think, mainly because I had it facing me. And then with it off, nothing. Alrighty.
Oh, that sounds good.
Nice. These things sound so good that you can tell how good they sound just from one word. I got distracted because I was trying to listen for background noise. And,
Oh, yeah, I can easily tell just from your first word on it, and it already sounds quite good.
Yep. Awesome. AT&T really always did know how to make a corded phone.
They did, while they still did the 210s.
Yep. Now it's getting interference from something. I'm not sure what that is.
Also, I think it's interesting how it fades in and out when it rings on low.
Yeah, I think that may be a function of my PBX, but I did notice that as well. It's a really interesting effect.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm going to go ahead and put this speaker up to the camera. Oh, great. We're getting feedback.
Oh, boy.
So you can hear just what the background noise sounded like with that Deck 6 phone interference.
Yep.
Okay, good. I found a spot to hold the cord so it's not getting any interference, and it does sound like the background on this phone is perfectly clear. Sometimes the older 210s can pick up some kind of a buzzing sound, but this one doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is obviously buzzing right now, but that's just because of the other cordless phone that's nearby.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's see how the buttons sound on here. Oh, you know, I should probably just use touch tone mode. They sound good to me.
All touch tones came in.
Cool. Wow, it's got an interesting sound for the keys. Sounds like a retro AT&T phone.
On my end, I can hear like a little small buzz every time you push one of the buttons.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious to see if the program button actually still functions as a mute button. So let's see, can you hear me now at all through it?
I can still hear you.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, that was weird. That happened when I pressed the fire key. I guess if you hit program and then the memory key, that is the last thing that I dialed. I guess, let me try something else. Let me just try without pressing any other buttons. And now, program, and that key, and let's see if it stored that. Oh, wow. It put it in... It put it in dial pulse mode. That is so weird. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yeah, it did store it.
Oh, alright.
Wow. Wow, okay, so right now the phone is just connected to a blank line because the PBX's reorder tone timed out, and so it's just off the hook here with nothing connected to it. And it's making self-feedback.
Huh.
I bet it would do it even more if I put it in the bass. That is crazy. Ouch.
I don't even think mine does that.
Dang. That's weird.
I guess that's really how loud these speakers really are.
Yep. Doesn't sound like there's anything in the memories here.
No.
Oh, hold on. Wait, wrong order. It almost acts like there's a memory 0 on here, which I know the newer 210s don't have. There is. Wow, this thing has 13 memories.
Wow.
This thing is just full of surprises.
Yeah, that's...
Now I'm interested to see if there's a way to change the ringer tone on here.
Yeah.
When I press pound, nothing else happens. Oh, interesting. I went ahead and switched it to tone mode without pressing star.
and it's now in tone mode. Some phones don't automatically switch over until you actually hang it up and pick it back up.
Wow.
Alright. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a way to change the ringtone on this. Or at least not one that I know of.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Alright, I just noticed something. Hopefully I can capture this on camera. When you press redial and there's nothing that it's going to dial, it makes a sound that's like a soft humming sound, which is pretty common for a lot of Trimline phones of different brands even to make. Or any sound like that is pretty common for them to make, but this is lower pitched than I've usually heard. Listen to this. If I can get it to where the cordless phone isn't buzzing on it. Alright, listen to this. Did you hear that lower pitched sound?
Yeah, and that's probably what I've been hearing earlier, too.
That is really interesting.
Yeah. I'll have to try that with mine and see if I can hear it on there, too.
Yep. Sounds like the bass handset cord jack, that is, could use some cleaning. Alright. Now let's pick up the vintage 210. It's got a much brighter backlight. And it does sound like the receiver capsule is working. But unfortunately the volume control switch is not. Probably just needs to be deoxidized. Alright. I'm gonna try calling the test phone here. Okay. Testing. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Cool. It was throwing me off for a second because the 992 drops the volume so much when it's making a conference call. Alright.
Oh.
Now it actually sounds like maybe the speaker or the earpiece in this vintage 210 may not be working quite as well because I don't really hear it that loudly at all.
Huh.
It's definitely there, but it may be starting to go on its way out.
Maybe. Well, these phones are getting that old. So.
Yep. I'll try dialing some numbers to see how those sound. Of course, you can just hear them blasting on the 992. They still sounded plenty loud on this thing. I guess
Yeah,
I'll try.
I'm pretty sure it's probably one of those phones that if you hold down more than one key, you only get a single tone.
Yeah, let's try that now.
Yep.
Yep, it is. That's always really interesting to me.
Same here.
Alright, now I'm going to disconnect you from the testing, or from the PBX entirely for the moment. And I'm going to call up another phone number on this thing. Gotta reset the PBX again. Okay, sounds fine to me. It's entirely possible this volume control switch is either just oxidized to the point where it's not going to do anything but be in the high position, or it could be oxidized to the point where it's not going to do anything but be in the normal position. It's hard to know which. but this is how it
Please
sounds.
check the number and try your call again. Thank you. The number you have reached.
Sounds pretty good to me. Through making some the infamous, the wind noise, I was able to determine that the mute button is working. So now let's just try redial. Sounds good. I love how fast these vintage AT&T phones can go.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah. Geez, some of these buttons are pretty dirty. Let's try pulse mode. And that caused the PBX to think I hung up for just a fraction of a second.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it did a flash. It's still connected to the outside line. So this is PBX and the outside line. So just press 1 to transfer. I'll hold it up to the 992 microphone so you can hear it, Hunter.
Alright.
Of course, now it's not doing it as much. Okay.
Well, it's a little odd, but also interesting.
Yep. Alright, I'll switch this back to tone mode. So now I'm going to leave some testing messages from these. The first 2 testing messages you'll hear are me reading some of my own custom variations on the Harvard sentences. The first phone that I read them from is the 210M, and the second one is the older 210. And then you'll hear some other messages as well.
5 new messages and 5 old messages. Message 1.
Okay, come on. Trying to turn up the volume here.
5 new messages and 5 old
There
messages.
we go.
Message 1.
Yellow jackets always nest in this yard. The scanner picked up several conversations. The weather radios blasted off at 2 a.m. The jumping spider stared at me from the table. The vintage battery still holds a charge. The Leica-cell batteries ruined their 1 billionth piece of equipment. The plants were nearly baked away every day that summer. The online listing hid a flaw from the buyer. The bee pollinated the flower. The goose ate the grass. The wasp ate from the old swing set. The Digitan cordless telephone caused excessive interference. Rubbing alcohol cleans all but the dirtiest plastic. The pollen coated everything. Shipping rates became more egregious over time. The storm caused nightfall 3 hours early.
Message 2.
Oh no, I think we're about to get a weather alert.
Message 3.
I really enjoy these AT&T 210s. There are just so many of them out there, and they're just such a common, basic, at first glance, telephone, but they really are good. And especially when you start looking into how many different variants there are, it's just fascinating to me. I could probably never even learn all of them, but I'm really glad to have this new rare ringer variant, which actually is not the one I'm talking on right now. I'm talking on the vintage one. I mean, I guess these are both vintage, Judging by the boxes, they would both be from before the year 2000, so that would make them both 25 or more years old. Alright, so my first AT&T 210 was the 210M, that being, I believe, the 4th edition of that, because it's the letterless logo version. So there's the 1st edition, as you've been seeing in this video, and then the 2nd edition is basically the same except with the newer ringers. And then the 3rd edition has the lowercase logo. And then the 4th edition, I guess, would be the one with the letterless logo. And then the 5th edition will be the one with the uppercase logo. And then the 6th edition would be basically the same as the 5th one, except for one thing, they come in different colors, and for another, the memory card has on the bottom a very small arrow or diagram or something, I can't remember exactly, that tells you some information about the wall mounting tab. Alright, Hunter, if you want to say anything about this, then I'll hold up the microphone to the speaker of the 992, since I don't have these on a conference call right now.
Alright. Me personally, I think it's really cool how AT&T still had this model number going for over a few decades at this point, and it's cool because they still have the newer 210M in several colors. Like, let's take pink for instance, and just how like all the colors that the old ones came in. I think it's very, very fascinating.
Agreed. Alright. Goodbye.
Message 5.
I've noticed that most of the vintage, like the 80s and 90s, AT&T corded telephones have an incredible sound quality on the receiver ends. It's like very, very well balanced, natural sounding. They have actual decent low frequency response and very clear high frequency response. And then they're, even on the ones that don't have a volume control, they're not too loud or too soft. And on the ones that do have a volume control, they go plenty soft for my taste and very loud, although sometimes they can be distorted. But part of that's probably just from aging receiver capsules. But then also, they just have such clear audio transmission. I don't hear much of any background noise or static. However, I noticed earlier when I was calling my favorite testing phone number, which has some very faint T-carrier whistling in the background in between repetitions of the recording, even though I could pretty much not at all hear any signs of background static or noise that let me know the phone is connected to a line, I could hear the T-carrier whistling. It was very quiet, but it was there, and it actually was being relayed clearly into my ear through this vintage 210. So it's like these vintage AT&T phones can ignore all the background static and still play all, even the subtlest background sounds, and still play them properly. It's just really cool.
End of messages.
The halogen bulb was too bright to look at. Raise the antenna towards the ceiling. To place a call, lift receiver and wait for dial tone. The vintage PC speakers sound clearer than most. You can take the submersible telephone out to the garden. The dog started begging 2 hours before dinner time. Try to identify that rock. The yard waste cans will save many bags. Most shades on banker's lamps are green. Place the antenna near a window.
Message 1.
You guys hear something? What is that sound? Oh no! A wasp!
End of messages.
Alright, I am very impressed with the quality of these microphones. Although I guess not really surprised, just impressed. Because as I said in those messages, most of these older AT&T corded phones just have amazing sound quality. And these two are definitely no exception. And they both have really good incoming audio. And I think I've tested out all the functions that I can test on these. Actually, that's not true. Coming back during the editing of this video, I realized I forgot to ring the 1989 210, which was a particularly dumb move, because this appears to be another rare ringer version. Have you ever heard a 210 that sounded like this? That's right, this has the older, high-pitched AT&T standard corded phone ringer, which is sometimes known as the chirp ringer. I've never seen or heard of a 210 with that ringer. All of the old ones, even going back to 1988, as far as I know, have the AT&T low-pitch standard corded phone ringer. So that was really interesting when I discovered that. So, there we go. That is going to be it for this initial checkout, including the Uniden TRU3466, almost brand new in box, the AT&T 210M early edition, I guess version 1, manufactured by Philips, and the AT&T 210 1989 edition. So, thank you viewers very much for watching, and thank you Hunter very much for joining. I had an awesome time.
You're welcome. Me too. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Alright, goodbye.